Hello everybody, today we are going to talk about reference variables. First let's focus on that word, reference. What is a reference? Reference is just something that can help us identify somebody. So we can do something like, a guy with a reference number 6 come to me. And if there is a person with, for example, a paper and that paper has 6, he knows that that we are calling that guy, right? But he also has a name. He might have a name, for example, Scott or something like that, right? So he has a name and he has also a reference number. So, but both that things, the reference number and a name, when we call him by that, he will understand that it means that we are calling that guy, right? He will understand it. He will know that we mean him. Okay. So, what is a reference variables in the programming? We can create something like, for example, string, and name it name, and let's assign here Agnes, right? The name Agnes. Now we can send to the output that name. For example, value of variable is name, and let's also send to the output the address of that guy. Something like that, and let's compile it, and you will notice that everything is working fine right now, and you will notice also that the address of that variable is 0 at the end, right? The end of the address. And now we'll create a reference variable. It looks like that. Type, and then we have to use the ampersand here, and then the name for a reference variable. So it is the label for it, right? And I'm doing label that will be number 6, for example. And now I have to assign here another variable that will be associated with that variable. And now this is just a reference for that variable. It means, like I told you, that it is like a nickname for that guy, right? We can call the value that is under that address here with that label or that label now. So let's check it out if it's true. Let's see. Address of variable is. And as you can see, the value of both variables is the same, and also the address of both variables is the same. So we created just another name for variable here, right? Okay. Now, what will happen if I change value using that guy here? Sample like that. And then I will send to the output that values again. You will notice that we change in both cases the value, right? Great. Okay. Now let's talk about the reference a bit more, and I will give you some rules about them. Reference variables must be initialized when created. As you can see, we can do something like that. Build and run. As you can see, our compiler won't let us compile that program until our reference is not initialized. So we have to initialize that guy. We have to do something like that. Also, please notice that here is ampersand and here is ampersand. This ampersand means different thing than this guy here. Remember that ampersand that is preceded, so if there is something before it and this thing is type of variable, it means that we are creating a reference variable. But this ampersand here means that I want to get the address of that variable. Remember about it. Okay, so also we can do something like that. Reference variable can't change associations. So by associations I mean connections. So I've just created two reference. I just created one reference for variable name, right? And now that reference will always be associated with that name here. I can't change it later. For example, I can't do something like that, string name to la 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 la, and I can't do something like that, because when I do something like that I am trying here, because there is no type before, I'm trying to assign a value to the address, right? I'm trying to assign to the address a value, la 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 la. So, well, that's wrong. And when I do something like that, we are just changing the value. I am not creating a reference, as you can see. I'm just changing the value. Okay? So this line is like that line here, right? Okay. We can change the value, but we can't change the associations. And we also should know that it's because at the beginning here is a word constant. That word here is saying that we can't change associations also. That word can also be here, constant string. When I do something like that, you'll notice that I won't be able to do something like that here. So right now, we can use the reference variable to get value from here. So it is just another nickname, another alias, another thing that we can call name here, but we can't change a value using it right now. Of course, we can still change the value using the name here, right? That will work. Easy. And in both cases, both will be changed. But right now, that reference is just a thing that we can call somebody by. It will be just a nickname. You also should know that reference variables must be the same type as associated variable. So, of course, we can do something like, for example, that, right? Here I have an int, and I'm trying to do something like that here. We can do that. If both are int, it works fine, but here I have to also get it into the comment. Now it's okay, but when they are different, we can't create a reference. And now you might be, hey, why do we need something like that? I will talk about it in next lesson and will explain it very clearly. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.